A RevoSlot car which I've set up for a customer, running around on our little RevoSlot test track, not RevoSlot, Policar test track, and that's the sort of noise you should expect from a RevoSlot car. This is a new car and the gears are still breaking in, but this helps bed them in and also helps true up the tyres. The great thing about Policar Track is it will true up the tyres because it is abrasive. And this is a car and the customer thought had serious problems, and really on these little Group 2s the misunderstanding is people think the screw at the front by the gear is how you set the gear mesh. Yes, it does locate the motor, but it cannot hold the motor still. It'll pivot around the one screw on that end. It's the back bracket that pushes hard against, or should be pushed hard against the motor, and then those two screws done up tight. Also, it's very important to use a good quality, and it doesn't necessarily mean expensive, a good quality Allen tip. The ones that I swear by and use here all day long are the Wearer screwdrivers and Allen drivers. They're only like $8, and they have a special tip on their Allens, which is especially important on the 0.9, but even some 1.3 and 1.5, especially the shallow-headed screws that RevoSlot uses on their motors, because people complained when they used the proper machine screw because it was lower than the chassis because the head is bigger. So they have these screws made up specially, but they are shallow heads. You don't get a good bite with an Allen, and if you do it with the body on, it's not gonna work. You've got to push hard against the screw, as deep into the screw as you can get, and tighten. And it needs to be a good Allen head, and the Wearer ones with their cutting teeth are excellent for this job. $7.99, I swear by them. Also, you can use the BRM motor screws. S-013MS is, I believe, the part number. It was done in the other video that I'm going to link this with. Those screws, the head is a little bit deeper. Not much, but it all helps. And then these screws have been painted. If there's paint in the bottom of the screw head, you won't get the Allen in deep enough. You may need a little pick and pick out any paint that's in the bottom so as you can seat the screwdriver or Allen driver as deep into the screw as possible. But that is the trick. The front screw by the gear is used to locate the motor, but it cannot control the motor pivoting because there's only one screw on that end of the motor. The back bracket holds the motor still, and that is the one brought into play hard against the motor can is what will keep your gears aligned and get the car to run like this, which is nice and quiet. No chewed gears, no failed gears. It really, Loctiting all the screws on RevoSlot is critical. Tightening this motor screw is critical. On the GT1s and GT2s, it's different because it has two screws on the gear end of the motor. So those two screws locate the motor. On this, it has one screw there and two screws at the back, and that is what locates and stops the motor from shifting. It's also very important to set the gear with 0 lash at the tightest spot on the gear set, and then let it break in. Don't lubricate it to break it in. Once it's broken in, then you can lubricate with white lithium grease, and you'll get a car that runs like this. And after a period of time, they get even quieter. Check your gear mesh. There should be 0 lash at the tightest spot. I don't mean bound up, but 0 lash. All right? Thank you. Bye for now.